It's 10 o'clock Sunday morning, and I've got to say I'm getting absolutely fed up with this constant rain. It's been like this probably since Wednesday, so we're looking at about 5 days of just constant rain. I have not seen any sunshine for 5 days. I mean, this is unprecedented. So, and today the toilet started to gurgle because obviously there's so much water around that there's a flood warning that was actually sent to you by the emergency services people. Initially it said people just around where the catchments are, and then it just said anybody should consider moving to higher ground if possible. So I've never seen it this wet. When I bought the place about 18 months ago, that was in April, and that was one of the wettest days in Kansas. Over 200 mil had fallen, and I remember that it was really, really wet here. But this is much worse because it's like the storm is actually super glued above the centre of Cairns. It's like you look at the heavy clouds and they just won't move. Normally you're looking at the radar images and you'll see the airflow will be pushing the storm across, and eventually you'll get some respite. But not this time. There's no respite. It's just full on rain continually, and like I say, it's just getting me down. Well, I hope my toilet keeps working. I mean, it's been clogged twice this morning. I had to wait for it to drain down, and it made a gurgling sound prior to that. So that's never happened before since being here for 2.5 years. And you know, like I say, it's unrelenting as it's just picked up again. It's just wave after wave after wave of constant rain. I would be very surprised if this isn't record breaking. Look at that. It's worse in my backyard. But this is insane. It's just the amount of water. And one of the sad things is that we don't harvest it anymore because the Greens won't allow you to build any catchments. So all this water will just flow out into the sea. And, you know, the amount that we've had the last 5 days, I'd hate to think how much we could have captured and put into a storage, and then on the other side of the hills where it's drier in the outback, we could have actually irrigated land. And actually, people like the Israelis are smart. They know how to do that because they make the desert bloom. We're not here in Australia. We're bloody hopeless. But anyway, it's yeah, there's actually a water conservation message. I thought that was a joke. Like we have to be really worried about how much water we're using at the moment. Well, look at this. It's all coming down from the sky. Anyway, it's just, like I say, it just gets me down. It's just been too wet to even go for a walk. It's just, you're basically a prisoner in your home. And poor old Steve's come down with COVID, so he's got him and Yvonne were going to fly to Sydney on Friday, but they can only do it if they get an all clear on their COVID test later in the week. So that's I don't think I got it from him. I saw him over a week ago, and I've got no symptoms of any colds or whatever. I have got a million tests here. I probably should do one just out of interest, but yeah, I know that it's everywhere in Cairns, and he's the first person I know who's actually contracted it. I hope Lynn avoids it. She's just back in town, and she's lucky to be able to fly back into Cairns. I don't know how she did it because I had a feeling the Thursday flights were cancelled, but I don't even know if the airport's open at the moment. This may be too much rain, but maybe not. They may be okay with it. But yeah, it's just depressing. So yeah, we didn't do the pub on Friday, and I could really do with going out. So one of these days we might get some sun again. Not holding my breath. Monday, and I'm going to head off to the post office to pick up the package that should have been delivered to my door when I was actually here, and the person didn't knock on the door, but that's typical. Here's all this refuse, most of it come off from this particular tree here. It's an absolute pain in the arse, and maybe I should just get rid of it because there's a lot more fronds to go. And that big pile just there is all from that. At least 2 dozen fronds that I had to tear off, and here's all over the front yard. And they've got all this other foliage here and down there as well. There's a lot of cleaning up to be done. Today I'm just going to put stuff in get as much as I can into my my garbage bin and take it from there. I'm really looking forward to getting out of the house though, because it's been, well, there's 5 days of constant rain. This is finally reasonably dry. I looked at the radar, and most of the activity is actually north of Cairns, so looks like we're finally getting a respite. I feel sorry for people in Port Douglas, they're still copping it. Yeah, it's back to some level of normalcy. There's people walking their dogs. So the other thing, another scare that we've got is, which is very ironic considering the amount of record-breaking rainfall we've had, is that there could be a lack of drinking water in Cairns. The flow from the dam to us may be cut because there's so much refuse in the system, and unless the maintenance crews can get out there and clear it all, they may have to turn off the supply of water, which is incredibly ironic considering how much water has actually fallen from the skies, that we may be without water to houses. I doubt whether that'll happen, because today they can definitely go and start doing their stuff. The other aspect of all this too is that there's been no bus services for quite some time, a number of days, because you can't get to Cairns. It's flooded. The Cook Highway is impassable until the floodwaters recede. So that affects me big time because I don't have transport. And of course now Steve is out of the picture, my helpful neighbour. He can't help me out because he's got COVID. I don't want to get in contact with him, obviously. So that's another complication. So, but there's always someone worse off than yourself. I did have power throughout the whole period, and there were many 40,000 houses in Cairns that were without power, so I would estimate that would be about half the population affected if you look at the occupancy of an average of about 2 people per household. So that's pretty bad. Now I'm going to go and try to collect an item from the post office. It should have been delivered to my doorstep, but for some unknown reason it wasn't. I was there when they turned up, and but they didn't knock on my door. So, I mean, I don't mind getting out and getting a bit of exercise. It's quite nice to get out of the house, but it'd be nice if these delivery people actually did their jobs for once and actually at least made an attempt to contact the homeowner when they're actually there. And in my case, it's even more important because I don't have a car. If I had a car, of course, going to Trinity Beach post office is such a piss easy thing to do. You don't even have to go down the highway anymore. You can actually cut across Miami Road, so it's very easy to get to. But you know, this has happened a couple of times. Well, the previous time actually it was more to do with the fact that it was such a late delivery. They did deliver when they said they would, but it was really late in the night, so I was off at the pub, so I knew that one was coming, which is fair enough. Yeah, look at that. There's still a lot of foliage around. People haven't cleared up stuff yet. There was a couple of fronds in my street, and no one had got out and actually just pushed them to the gutter, which I was surprised at. It happened a few days ago. I did it, so you think the people driving would want to have a clear path, but they seem pretty laid back about it. So arborists are going to have a field day with all this foliage to be removed. So try booking an arborist at the moment. I think you'll be waiting a few months. So like this would be a pretty typical scene here with all the branches sheared off. Whew. Oh, and apparently, according to the note I've got to pick up my item, I've got 5 days to do it. Well, that was last Tuesday and it's Monday, so it's been 6 days. So I'm hoping that some common sense takes place at the post office and they actually extend that, given that we have had torrential rain, unprecedented record rain in Cairns. But you just never know with a quasi-government organisation, who knows? They're not really customer focused. I did put in a complaint, I did all I could do about the people not turning up to my door, but you know, I'll just be put on the pile of other complaints they've got. They're used to it. If it ducks back to Australia Post, they don't give a crap. So I'm expecting anything, but I'll at least get my eye drops at the pharmacy, so get something out of this trip. Luckily I've got enough food to keep me going until I'm supposed to go down to Cairns on Wednesday, but that's presuming that the road, the highway is cleared and the buses are running again. Apparently Cairns Central today, a friend who came back from Bali was telling me that all the stores are closed in Cairns Central today except for Coles and Woolworths. So the consequences of the big wet are continuing on. The only good news is it looks as though finally that weather system is moving inland across the Cape York and away from us, because it was just hovering above us for days. And I woke up about 1:30 last night just freaking out because I'm thinking, is this ever going to stop? It's just like a nightmare, you know, because continue rain like that, you just can't do anything, especially if you don't have a car. So I don't take clear skies or clear, at least rain, not rain cloud skies, for granted. This is wonderful. It's actually not threatening. There's no spitting. There's just a lot of water in the gutters. So things could be a lot worse. And like I said, I don't mind getting the exercise because I've been housebound for a few days and I think this will go down really well. Probably help me sleep tonight. So it's a good thing. I wonder how things are going to go with, they say that the snakes and crocodiles could be flushed out into the open because of this. I haven't seen the evidence of that here, but you just never know. There's plenty of foliage for them to escape to, so I suppose they're going to prefer that to being on a road like this, one would hope. I don't have to cross swords with a taipan if I can avoid it. Or a croc, I think. Wouldn't imagine crocs have come this far back from the beach, but it is a strange time at the moment. Anyway, that was record-breaking rains apparently. They said 100 mil, but I think yesterday we got closer to 500. It felt like half a metre of water descended upon us. But we'll see. So yeah, someone said they reported 100 mil, but I just think that's crap. And yeah, I think it's far in excess of that. And it is definitely the biggest downpour we've had since the mid-70s apparently. So, and some record-breaking downpours in different spots. Poor people at Port Douglas are copping it right now, according to the radar. So spare a thought for them, because I know what it's like. And I'm so glad that it's finally moving away from us. At least give us a few days respite. Just a couple of kangaroos there. They just hopped away when I wasn't fast enough taking photos. Where are they? Just oh, there they are, down there. There you go. You see them there? There you go. Yeah, no, they didn't really move for a few seconds when I came past, and yeah, I haven't seen them. They're just over there before. Yeah, haven't seen them that prominent before. But yeah, I was only a few feet away from them, just didn't seem to be too perturbed. Another one. This is Wallaby Alley. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, they're out in force. Yeah, quite a few of them. I might see a couple more down here when we go across the pathway to the that crosses the little creek. Oh, look at the roof here. That's taken a bit of the beating all along here, actually. Yeah, look at all those holes right down. Yep, it was a hell of a pounding, that's for sure. I didn't expect to see that though. Pretty, what are they, fibro boards or something? They're just basically falling apart. Now, this is a bit better constructed along here, next to the medical practice. I think they're closed, are they? They've got the light on, but I don't think. Pharmacy's open, that's good. Well, I got success with getting the parcel from Australia Post. It was only small too. It wasn't very easy to put in my backpack. I also discovered from the lady who served me that they get a lot of complaints from customers about slack delivery people, and because they're contractors, looks like they're getting away with murder, and the quality of the contractors seem to vary with time. I had a good patch up until recently, but they've gone downhill again. And like I said, it's not just me complaining. So hopefully something will be done. But the eye drop situation's a bit strange. I mean, they don't seem to have a demand for co-sopt here, but when my normal pharmacy they do. So I might have to end up going back to Kawara, which is a pain in the ass. So I mean, I suppose I could walk up there now. Maybe I should just see if they do have it, because yeah, well, I could do that. I could go up to Miami now and just see if I can get these eye drops, because otherwise I'm going to make another trip like this. So it's a reasonable distance, but I better do it. Anyway, we'll see how we go with the local pharmacy, because it's a very tiny pharmacy, but it could be ironic that they've got it and the other ones don't. Oh well, we'll see how we go. At least I got one item ticked off the list today. Whew, feeling a bit humid today. A few threatening clouds over there. Oh, we'll see how we go. Interesting, the Trinity Beach, which is a bigger pharmacy, they didn't have co-sopt, but they did here. Maybe they've got a different profile of customers. I mean, I do order it here too, so maybe it was for me. So we'll see. But anyway, I got what I needed, which is great. And I also picked up a couple of bottles of cheap red, which I haven't had for a while, because I don't generally order that when I get the deliveries. They don't have the same specials, 2-for-1 specials on cheap grog, cheap reds, that they do at Littleland themselves. Online at First Choice or Liquorland, you can't find those specials. So you've got to shop in person for those. So there's only one cab sab of the Grazier left, and so it was a 2-for-1 deal, so I had to mix it in with a Shiraz. So because it's, you know, it's $6 as opposed to $8. So everybody's out and about today. Obviously people are all catching up. The pharmacy was pretty busy, both of them, and Australia Post was. It was nice of the girl to admit that they've had issues with deliveries. It's just nice to get they're not trying to bullshit you. And she explained the situation. It is agents that do it, and that seems to not be a great system. Maybe they should employ some people directly, but they don't want to have to pay super and stuff. They do them under a different award, and it probably works out well for Australia Post that way. 20 on a reasonably sultry Thursday morning. Luckily the Coles delivery guy got here just before 9 o'clock. So 9 to 10 was the window, so that was excellent. So I've got my groceries. Now I've just got to go off for a blood test at Trinity Beach, and on the on my little 6-gear bike. So I'll probably be sweating like a pig, but you know, at least it'll get me out of the house, which is a good thing. And tomorrow I think I'll get the bus, because they're finally operating again on a Saturday timetable from today onwards. Thank God I can get to Smithfield. So that'll be good, because there's a few gaps in the orders I just got from Coles. But the Coles guy was really nice. He actually brought the bags right up to my kitchen, and he said that he's been doing it for 2 years. He's a local born and bred Cairns person, and he lives in Mount Sheridan, and he says he's only ever had one negative comment. He says people love the service, so he gets a lot of positive feedback. So he really enjoys the job. Found out from the nurse that they didn't have any mobile coverage yesterday here either, so they were on Optus, this particular practice, so they were also inconvenienced. So there's definitely at least 2 beaches that were affected by the outage. So there you go. And they were shut on Monday, so I couldn't have come there, had the bloods done anyway on Monday, as it turned out. Well, it's Friday, December 22nd. Christmas Day's looming next Monday. Last day I've got to really, well, second last day I guess, to get shopping done, but I'll do it today. That was my primary purpose of going here today, until I got a bit of a bombshell via SMS a little after midday yesterday. I survived my bike ride to Trinity Beach and got my blood test, and that was all fine. Went fairly smoothly. It's pretty buggered at the end of it, quite a humid day, and yeah, the old push bike at my age, even though it's only like a 10-minute bike ride, it took it out of me. But I still prefer to do that and use the e-bike. But the bombshell SMSs came from CommBank, and the first one informed me that my account had been compromised, which is the last thing I really wanted to hear after all the crap I've been through with banking this year with identity theft. And then after that there was a second SMS. This one was identified as CommBank. The first one just had a mobile number, so that was a bit strange. But the second one said it was from CommBank, and it looked like a legitimate temporary password. But of course, I'm not going to believe anything I see until I get it confirmed these days. I'm very cautious. So I did try ringing CommBank after contacting the Adam at Affordable Computers who cleaned my computer out. To be fair, actually, Adam rang me back. I thought he was already on holidays, and he spoke to me for about 10 minutes. He didn't fob me off or anything, so you know, kudos to him for that. But he sort of said I should try ringing the bank. Well, I hate ringing the banks, and I know it's going to take a while to get through, and it did. Said quarter of an hour wait to get through to the bank. Ended up being 1.5 hours. When I did get through, the girl didn't have enough questions to identify me with, so basically had to give me the old PO baby, piss off. And that's, I'm going to the branch today because I've shown photo ID at least I can establish who I am, and they can hopefully come up with an explanation, because I tried putting in my normal password that I used on the computer, and it's been working fine since they gave me they set up everything up again for me on CommBank. But it came up with a screen asking for a temporary password. So it looks as though it probably is a legit SMS, but I just want to absolutely double check before I do anything. As I say, my trust levels are so low these days. There's so many scam artists out there. I'm not taking any chances at all. I don't know how they hacked into my account either, because that password, I don't even have it in the Google passwords. So there's no record of it anywhere. So I don't know how they do it, unless they somehow track your finger movements when you put in the passwords somehow. But they're not supposed to know, because I'm using the Kaspersky's virus protection, and that's supposed to be in a protected mode, and so other people can't see it. So it's quite a mystery. It could be a mistake on behalf of CommBank. Maybe they're being overly cautious. I'm hoping that's the case, because I haven't been able to get into my account. I didn't use the temporary password, which is supposed to be valid for 28 days. So I don't know what's happening with my bank account. So, but I think this thing is just the last thing I really wanted to happen after all the stuff we've been through with floods and what have you. Weather started to warm up again too recently. Last night I actually had the aircon on again, because I felt quite sticky. The only good thing about the storms was that it at least it cooled things down. Yeah, I didn't get much of a boost in the power bill when I used aircon, so I think it's not going to be that much of a drain if you're just using it before you go to bed. And I've got on a very high thermostat level of 28, so it doesn't really drain much juice, so that's not bad that way. So anyway, that's how it is with me at the moment. I'm not a super happy chappy, I've got to say. It's not the sort of Christmas I was hoping for, because I haven't really been able to get any Christmas type food. I'm not going anywhere or doing anything. Spot on the e-bus today. It's been a while. It's been months since I've actually caught one. So they've got the USB ports down there on the next to the seats. It's quite good. And a screen up front to give you information of where they are. And it's very quiet and very smooth. It's quite nice. It actually worked out a lot better than I expected. I thought I'd been hacked again, and I was expecting all the usual garbage to occur. As it turned out, they were bogus SMS messages, and but I still don't understand why my original password was rejected. That's the mystery in this. But the teller gave me a new password, a temporary password, and I logged on the terminal at the branch, and now I've got a different password, and it seems to work because I've got the details coming up on screen. So I never expected it to work, so that's brilliant. So the paranoia I had over being hacked. Well, you still got to be careful with these messages though. They're very clever, because it could look really legit, especially the temporary password one. Well, Christmas time I realised how little flexibility I have at buying stuff, because of the weight constraints. So I had to be careful not to get too much. So not having a car is a hassle at times, and it's surprising no one else is actually waiting here, because there are a crap load of people inside, plenty of shoppers, and I gotta say it's such a relief knowing I wasn't hacked, because I mean I had a cursory look at my account and it all looked intact. So I was pretty happy with that. Anyway, I just missed the bus going back home. I'll have to walk from the highway to home, because I won't be able to connect with any buses because there just aren't any today. So I'll get a bit of exercise. It's quite warm, but I think I'll be okay. I'll be pretty exhausted when I get home, but at least it'll be a happy exhaustion, because I mean, if I'd had my bank account hacked again, it's only since September it happened originally. So, and considering all the extra security I've had, it's amazing there's no one else waiting for a bus. I mean, there's so many people shopping. Everyone's got cars. So I'm very happy to score the turkey, even though it's about a third more than I'd paid in the past, $38. Yeah, I think last year would have been, or the year before, about $25 for a frozen turkey. They're a bit cheaper. So this one could be a little bigger though, so it may not be that much. But it's so nice to have turkey for Christmas. For me, it's a huge relief to get this out of the way today, and it's just taken a weight off my shoulders. Yeah, very happy. And actually the supermarket was pretty well stocked. I didn't notice many missing items at all, so kudos to them. The bus was 20 minutes late, unfortunately, so I could have waited around for the 111 and saved the walk, but what the hell, it's not too bad today. There's a bit of traffic on the road though. There you go. So, got a bit of a 25-minute hike ahead of me to get back home with my big turkey in tow. Not much luck with the traffic today. I've had some good runs getting across here, but it's all, well, it's perfectly spread out. Just damn annoying. Come on. Okay. Oh, that's the worst of it. It's a bit of a breeze. It's not too bad. And it's a little overcast, so won't have to worry about the sun. So I've got a fair bit of weight. I've got a couple of bottles of ginger ale. I've got cordial as well, and of course the turkey. Not even sure if the turkey will fit in my convection microwave oven, but we'll see. It might. It takes a chicken okay. This is a small turkey, so might be a tight squeeze. We'll see. Yeah, as I say, it's a stressful time of the year for a lot of people, Christmas. It has been for me this year, given I've had those bogus texts that came through yesterday. They really were a downer. Those people don't give a stuff about what they're doing to their victims. They're just lowlifes. Of course, the bank, the teller, just said disregard them. Of course, the thing is, she did give me some good information, as she said that I'd nominated for my home phone number as being my contact number. So the only contact I should get from the bank without being prompted would be via the landline. So that's interesting information. So any unsolicited messages that come through on my mobile can be disregarded. Even if they say they're from the bank, if it is from the bank, they're breaking their own policies for a start, but it's highly unlikely. It's more likely it's just a bogus email. But they are getting quite clever because they're just copying the temporary passwords that CommBank are giving out. It look very legitimate. But luckily, I didn't take the bait. So, yeah, so it's just a fishing exercise, I guess. Because I was a bit worried I was being targeted, but I think that's just your standard fishing exercise. They do it to everybody, random mobiles, and they just try it on. But I think really our police force needs to become much more proactive in this area. See, the floods still have an effect here. It's quite low-lying ground just around here. Looks like this path is just dried up enough to get onto, so shows you how low it is. Well, you can see that if you look at the street level, which is around a metre higher than here. And can make all the difference. Yeah, still a lot of swampy water floating around. Normally I could count on making the connection with the other bus, but seen on a Saturday timetable, it's just not even possible. So there won't be any buses waiting unless they're incredibly late. So there's no ambiguity in this one. I've got to walk home basically. So like I say, it's not raining, it's not really super hot, it's not sunny. That's the main thing. The sun this time of year is an absolute killer. So That's the good news. Well, I'd rather be here than freezing my ass off in the Ukraine defending against Russians who seem to have incredibly low morale. There's a woman who's actually going to compete for presidency. Gutsy woman, because we know how Vlad acts to any opposition. He's not happy. So there you go. Right. Now it's just a matter of walking along the footpath all the way to Gannett Street. Then I'm almost home. 10 minutes later I'll be home. Quarter of an hour walk to Gannett. You can still see the sand, the residue from the floods. Still hasn't been cleaned up totally. Gannett Street, thank God, I'm feeling it. Retrospect, maybe it would have been better waiting for the 111 bus, but that could have been 20 minutes late too, so who knows. But the sun's come out, so if that guy had been on time, I wouldn't have had to walk in the sun because it wouldn't have broken through yet. So timing is important here. Here's Gannett Street. Finally, around 10 minutes to go, I'd say. Looks like the weather's overcast down there. Just bad luck. Well, it's not blazing sunshine, but I'd rather just be overcast. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.